Fresno State game in 2018. Does that help you in a way that they know what the challenge is because they saw how physical they were in that game and how good they I know the teams are very different, but they know what Fresno State's all about.
First we want to talk about much over 2 years ago. Just turn on the tape after Oregon. We focus on this season and this season only. We got 2 games to look at Fresno for. We look at the Connecticut game and the Oregon game and the Cal Poly game and from where we come from there. Talk about something that happened 2 years ago. TBU. Cool videos.
Similar to you guys, Fresno State's run defense is pretty potent.
Yeah.
Do you think you might have an edge with your defense going against a potent offense?
We don't think any edges. And we prepare for everything that they do schematically, prepare for their personnel, and it starts today. It starts the preparation today. So we never end a meeting saying, hey, we have an edge here or have an edge with this, or that's not kind of how we look at things. It's preparing for their schemes, both offensively, defensively, especially wise, and then getting that information to our players, so that players have knowledge of that, and then working on our plan starting today. So that's kind of what our approach is.
Do you think Samuel Alonso is going to be able to be available this Saturday?
We'll see. It's a day-by-day thing. We'll continue to work on progress. Sam's done a nice job progressing and gotten better every day. And we expect more out of him today, but we'll see as the week goes along.
Fresno State was Dorian's first home start 3 years ago. How much has he grown from then to now?
I think he's grown, and regardless of when his first start was. I think he's grown since the first game he played. He played against Cincinnati and Lincoln game his freshman year because he wouldn't have down in the second quarter. So that's the great thing about Dorian. He learns from every experience that he has and capitalizes on that. He's got a great mindset. He's got a growth mindset in terms of what is presented to him and how can he get better on a daily basis. So I think he's going to reach him.
Your thoughts on Fresno State's quarterback Hayner? I mean,
he's a really good player. Yeah, he's a really, really good football player. He's dynamic. He's got a knack for keeping plays alive. He's really athletic. I think he's got a great knowledge of Kalen's system in terms of what they ask him to do. And he's just a productive football player. And he's, we're going to have our hands full containing him. But he's one of those guys. He reminds me a lot of Russell Wilson that when he takes off, he's taking off looking for touchdowns. So it's not just a, hey, 1 is covered, 2 covered, I'm going to tuck this ball into my arm and run. He's looking to throw the ball down the field for big chunks of yardage, and he's a competitor and he's tough too. I've seen him take some shots and then he just gets up and keeps playing hard. So we're going to have our hands full with him today. So.
Is it a benefit to have a bye week this early, Chip, after playing 2 games?
It depends on. At the end of the year, you can say it's beneficial, not beneficial. We don't control the schedule. That's how the schedule laid out. We got a week 0 game because we played Hawaii. That's an NCAA rule. If you do play Hawaii, you can play week 0. So it is what it is. Those are things that aren't in our control, so to speak. So then we don't really analyze or look at it that it is good to have a bye or it isn't good to have a bye. I don't know. We'll see at the end of the year. Was it good? Wasn't it good? I don't really know and haven't spent a lot of time thinking about it, to be honest with you. So.
They got a couple of guys from UCLA, I believe. Elijah Gates and Alex Akpenbulu. Was he here when you came?
He was here in the spring when I first came.
Okay. What are they? They're starters now, so they're big contributors. What are those guys?
Yeah, really good. Alex is a big physical offensive lineman. That we're going to have our hands full because he's tough, strong, and kind of count. Elijah played a lot of football for us in the secondary. Love Elijah. He's really done a nice job fitting there. They got him playing safety there. Does a great job of getting fit in their run fit. But can cover half the field, so I think we can do both things for them. So both those guys, we have a lot of respect for them. We're going to have our hands full with both of those guys too.
What does it say about Fresno State that they lost by 7 to a really good Oregon team, an Oregon team that just went and beat Ohio State?
I don't care about who won what, who did what, like transitive process of this game was close and that game equals that thing. We don't talk about that. Just turn the tape on and see how hard they play and how tough they are. So regardless of they won at Oregon or didn't win at Oregon or whatever that is, it's a really good football team. So we don't sit in our meetings and say, hey, this score was close in this game. This team wouldn't beat that team, so that means that this team is that. That's way too complicated for us. It's just turn the tape on, prepare for their schemes, and prepare for their players.
And last night, UCLA was ranked the #1 public school in the country for the 5th year in a row. What does that mean to your players here now and as a recruiting tool moving forward?
I think they take a lot of pride in that. This is a very difficult school academically. Therefore, when you graduate from here, the degree that you get from here will open up a ton of doors for you. it's about helping you become the best version of yourself. And it's something that I think our players here take a lot of pride in. I think the groups they will be doing it.
How's your team's energy going into this game against Fresno State?
I think it's good. Today's our first day of prep. You know, we had an improvement week last week, and I thought they were great. You know, we had Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we were working with them. And then today we'll just get right back at it. This will be our first real jump in with everything for Fresno in terms of our preparation. But the energy was good in meetings, and we're looking forward to the training session today. So.
Last few games, you had a hot one at the Rose Bowl. Do your game preparations change when you have to wait all day for a 7:45 kickoff?
Yeah, I know the game preparation doesn't change. Just what our Saturday looks like. So our Monday through Friday will be the same, and then Saturday is just a little bit different schedule because we do have that late start. So again, that's something that we don't spend a lot of time on the start, just because we don't have any control over that. You know, but this is, I think, the latest one we're playing 7:45. So we look at it as trying to be positive. So it's a primetime game in the Philippines. So let's put on a good show for the people in Manila. So people on the East Coast aren't going to see us play, but at least people in Manila waking up Sunday morning will get a chance to watch the Bruins play. So hopefully there's some Bruins fans there. So.
Trying to crack that peak Manila recruiting market.
Yeah, there should be. Actually, Coach Norwood's son is playing professional basketball in the Philippines, so he'll give us any intel if there is anybody over there. So.
You watch any of the games over the weekend?
Just a few in and out. I can't. I have ADD, so I can't sit and watch a whole football game. So saw bits and pieces of a few of them. So.
Just what do you think of just the conference over the weekend with Oregon's win over Ohio State? And
I saw some of that game. I thought Oregon looked really strong in that game. They did a nice job. So I don't see enough, and I'm bouncing around to say that I watched this entire game or that entire game. So, but it was a good win against a really good Ohio State team. So.
Chip, what are your thoughts on the targeting rule and a player being ejected if they are called for targeting? Do you think that's fair, or
that's the rule? That's my thoughts. So they don't ask me. So if that's the rule, then we got to play by the rules. So whether you think the speed limit should be 65, if you're going over the speed limit and you get pulled over, then you get pulled over. So you should be able to think maybe you can get on the 405 and drive faster than 65 if there's no one on it. But if you break the rule, you break the rule. So we coach off how the officials are going to interpret that, and then we understand the rules in place because it's a safety deal, and we get that whole part of it. So to get into what that is and what that isn't just doesn't help us or doesn't help anybody else. So just whatever the rule is, we'll explain it to our players and make sure we don't coach tackling that way. So we coach tackling the proper way and make sure we execute it that way. So.
Has the interpretation remained consistent over these 7 years, or have you seen some variance?
I haven't studied the amount of targetings and who was in and who was out.
I was just wondering in reviews when players you've had gotten.
Usually when we've gotten it, there's been some application of the rule. It's not they don't make it up. You know, it's not like someone hit with the shoulder and into the sternum and then they said it was targeting. So usually when we get a targeting penalty, it's because of what the rule is interpreted, and that's what our players did. So.
Have you ever seen a game where a kicker got kicked out for targeting, like what happened Saturday night?
I didn't see
USC's kicker got kicked out on the opening play of the game for targeting.
He did?
Yeah.
I didn't see that. So the answer is no, because I didn't see that play either. So.
Okay.
But was it targeting?
Yeah.
So a guy targeted and they got penalized for targeting, and then he's out of the game. So
it's just because it was the kicker on the opening kickoff of the game.
You stay around this game long enough, you'll see a lot of different things. So.
All right, thanks, guys.
Anything else? All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.